Hey, Ellen.
What now, Chris?
Now, Ellen, this is some specimen here at the spring trial. I mean,
Certainly
I
is.
knew succulents were in, but the things we're doing today, that has got to, I mean, you're going to do those in 4-inch pots or quarts.
Yeah.
Right. We're at Greenfuse Botanicals, and no, that's not a new introduction. That's been in the ground for probably 10 years, but that is some aloe, right?
It's pretty. It's nice.
And anyway, but what we're here to look at Greenfuse Botanicals, oh, I'm Chris,
Ellen,
Growertalks,
Green Profit.
covering the 2016 spring trials in this greenhouse right over here.
That's right.
We're going to take a look at
Both of
the
them,
real new varieties from Greenfuse.
Exactly.
Although that would be fun if it was one of their intros. Let's go. Well, that aloe is cool, but we're here to look at more traditional annuals and perennials, starting Petunia.
Good and plenty to take.
And they've got 2 new introductions. Now, the Good and Plenties are kind of have a nice mounding multiflora habit and
Quick
multiflora flowers. But the new ones are this pretty pink star. That is really vivid. I like that too because it's kind of like one of those traditional star types to me. Really vivid stripes. But this one is really nice too. Good and Plenty Bubblicious, where they've been audacious enough to combine 2 different candies in one flower. And if I had a wad of Bubblicious, I'd be blowing a bubble right now to compare the color, but that's very bubblegum.
Looks just like it
colored. Yeah. So now fuchsias, something else you don't see from. Gosh, I don't know, do any other companies have fuchsias? Maybe a couple of them out here, but Greenfuse has a lot of them. They've got 2 improvements for this year. Upright red and white is an improvement for better habit. It's a little less vigorous, a little bit more compact, but with more flowers. And then neon white also improved. And look at all the flowers on.
That's beautiful.
Improved
I like that one.
Neon white, very nice. Back to Petunias, and this is a series. We saw this, Ellen, last year for the first time? The QTs. Which could mean quick time. Are they quick? They're kind of quick.
Or they're cutes.
Oh, they're cutie pies, but it means quality tunia. And red is a brand new one in here. Good mid-range red color for a series. You know, red petunias are always tricky. And that's one of the beautiful things about it. You know, this is the proper habit. And then there's an experimental white back there as well, and an experimental blue. So those are things we'll see coming next year. Now, Jen, if you want to follow us back to the back corner, we're going to take a look at something that, could just about fall into the succulent realm, just like that giant prickly aloe that we saw. And that is the Purslane Hot Shot series. As a former Florida grower and gardener, I can tell you Purslane is one of the best plants you can use out in the landscape. And there's one new one here which I really admire.
Flambeau Rose.
Flambeau is a variegated. Now, you look at the variegation, you definitely very plainly see the nice green and white variegation. There's a bit of pink tinging in here, which could make you think, wow, is it a tricolor variegation? And that's really from growing extra dry. The drier it is, the more that pink is going to express itself. A little more wet grower, as far as Purslane doesn't want wet, and you're going to get more of that green variegation.
Very nice.
Now I can smell the next ones we're going to take a look at. Is that the lobularia that I'm smelling right there? I think it is.
So.
Oh, that's fragrant. And that's a new series called Marine Land. You got to have a lobularia in this business today. This is a compact series. Starts with just the one color that, Ellen, you're patting it over there.
That's right, lavender.
Nice habit.
Very nice.
Yeah,
nice
good
habit.
shape. And then there's a white, which is a pre-intro, which means limited availability, and then next year we'll see it as a full introduction. And then lastly, I think, at least for this particular greenhouse, is in their annual Salvia Splendens Grandstand series. There is a new one called, it's a strange name. This will fall into the strange name category in my awards.
That strange.
Red Lipstick Pink.
Well, it's red and pink.
Well, I see that you got the red flower, and then you're a botanist. What's this little thing called?
The doohickey.
The stem, the stem and the sepal, the thing that sticks out is pink, and the rest of it's red. So that's a new one in the series. And Ellen is frantically waving. Show the camera, frantically waving. We went right past the new Nemesia called Memento. I got so excited by the red lipstick pink thing
Burgundy
going
frost and white.
Right, so a 2-color series. Again, you know, Nemesias are so popular nowadays. It's sort of like let's have one to be playing in that space. So there's a new series there as well. And I wanted to show you too, a couple we saw last year is pre-intros that are full intros now. Back to the Salvia grandstands is this real nice blue bicolor. I think that's stunning. And then salmon right next to it is also new. So I think let's go to the next greenhouse and take a look at some perennials, Ellen.
Okay, let's do that. This one, Chris. You missed this one.
Oops. Okay.
One more annual.
Okay, sorry. I said we were going to perennials because I thought this house was full of perennials. I kind of forgot there's all kinds of stuff in this,
absolutely.
This bay. The first of which is a Calibrachoa, which is an annual. This is a brand new intro to their Cruise series. Cruise Pink. Big flowers on that and a very nice habit. And Jen, if you swing to the left or up, or whichever way you want to go there, you're looking at Cruise Red Delicious. This was a pre-intro last year. We talked a lot about it, but I think it was called Cruise Red Eye.
Right.
And they have done
the
brilliant thing by changing any of these that were called Eye, and they've changed Eye to Delicious.
Right.
And I think Delicious is a much better term than Eye. I could editorialize as well about vein and blotch as far as horticultural names.
Not attractive.
But I won't go there. It's like the geriatric ward between veins, blotches, and eyes. But I'm going to editorialize on that later. Can we do perennials now?
I think so.
All right. First Life perennials, they've got a lot of these compatible recipes. Nothing new that they're specifically touting for this year, but you can see they're working, experimenting with a lot of different combinations of perennial combos, as we've seen at some of the other trials. This is some of the existing things, but they've added a dianthus to their Constant Beauty line, a garnet color.
And as you mentioned, it's a good word. Garnet.
For the kind of a deep red, almost a fuchsia, you don't hear the term garnet very often. I think that's a good color name, very descriptive.
Got a new series here of dianthus.
Yeah, this is a more compact, that's kind of a garden type. This is a more compact, good for 4-inch pots. That's the Cadence series.
4 colors.
And there's 4 colors in that one as well. Oh, by the way, we should mention Constant Beauty is very, very heat tolerant.
That's right.
And then we've got, sometimes the challenge of trials is timing. Things don't always make it the way the growers would like.
Yeah.
You could say the case here. This is a new Veronica called Shining Seas, and a name like Shining Seas really intrigues you when it comes to the flower color. And there's just a few flowers trying to come up in here, and they say it's a blue with the kind of a white outer shimmer to it.
Shimmering, shining.
Yeah, so you could see almost like the shining seas, like the blue ocean with the sunlight and the wave cap, white caps and things. If you picture it that way, it's a great name, Shining Seas. And
one more annual.
Yeah, if you want to frantically point at yet another annual that I missed, thank you very much. Their Blanket series of Petunia, which is the low spreading type as opposed to the Good and Plenty mounting ones. They've introduced Blanket Blue Star, which is named for the obvious reasons. And one of the things I love about Greenfuse is that they're, we're going to get to that one in a minute.
Yes.
But one of the things I love is they do house plants. They call them lifestyle plants. So let's go to the back corner, see the new one there. We'll come back to this cool thing and then finish up over at those cool things. Here's what I was talking about. Lifestyle plants, they've got hydrangeas, they've got begonias, but they've got one of my, believe it or not, personal favorites, Streptocarpus, which despite the sort of diseased sounding name, Lady Slipper is the series name, much better name. And we saw this one last year, Ellen, as a pre-intro. That one's called Grape Ice. Grape Ice, spectacular.
Very nice.
Who wouldn't love that? And that is not your grandmother's Strepto.
Got another one over
nor
here.
is this one. This is the most yellow Streptocarpus that I've ever seen. That one's called Yellow Blue Eye. Although, as I pointed out to them, why not change that eye to Delicious as well?
That's a good
and
idea.
make it Yellow Blue Delicious. Now, speaking of delicious, how about a lupin? I had never seen a lupin at spring trials before. Let's go look at the lupins. So you want to know what the scoop on the loop is? Staircase. Let's step our way to the Staircase series. This is the first lupin that I've ever seen at spring trials.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful plant. Now here's the deal. First off, these are going to be available from tissue culture, but initially, because it's a pre-intro, only as liners. And it's going to be a mix of these
That's right.
really
Multicolor
beautiful
pack.
colors. So you don't know what color
Right.
you're going to get, and there's very limited availability the first year. So try to get some
My
early if you
favorites right
can. But they're fast. In fact, while we don't know the production details, and in fact the reason they're a pre-intro in small numbers right now is to really learn more about how to produce them.
That makes sense.
But they said they got them in at even smaller spikes than these, and in 10 days, this is what you were getting.
That's amazing.
And lots more buds coming up. So these are just great. You know, they're compact. I don't know what they've done with PGRs or anything on them, but this, you know, isn't something that's big and rangy and only for independents. You know, a big grower could do, you know, bench run of 100,000 of these if you got big benches. So that's the staircase lupin series. Stay tuned for more. And that's that's a taste of the annuals of perennials. Another annual houseplant, and then this is a perennial.
All good stuff.
From Greenfuse Botanicals at the 2016 California Spring Trials. Now I'm going to point frantically at Ellen just for the sake of doing it.